It's a certain Neil Warnock's favourite expression, but I've also heard other managers using it. Referees know the rules, but they don't know the game. Can't say that about you, Mark Halsey, can they?
No, I agree with that saying. So I go back, remember Gordon Strachan saying the same thing, and he was absolutely spot on.
Okay, so let's talk about your playing days. For many years you played non-league football. How many clubs?
Oh, more clubs than Jack Nicks, I think. But no, yeah, I mean, it's like I started at Hertford Town, St Albans, Cambridge City, Barnet for one game.
That's one league
game?
Yeah,
one league game. They were short of a goalkeeper. Barry Fry called me in, let 4 goals in, never called me back again. But yeah, they say you've got to be mad to be a goalkeeper, but even worse to become a referee. But it went back to my junior days, my junior school days, where you didn't start playing football until you were about 9 or 10. And I played centre midfield, and I wasn't very good. So the next game, I was shoved in goal because no one wanted to play, and there I stayed for the rest of my days.
Yeah, you must have enjoyed it because, as I say, you played for any number of clubs, and you came very late to refereeing. How did that come about?
Yeah, I mean, I did. I love football. I love football. It's been my life, for many years. I got into sort of in mid-20s, had a couple of nasty injuries. I took time out, I played rugby union for Welling Rugby Club, which I really enjoyed. I loved it, got into the first team, dislocated shoulder, out of sport for a year while that healed, then come back into football. I picked up another serious leg injury where I was in hospital for 2 weeks. And I just decided, I started falling out of love, and it was a good friend of mine, Russell Foster, who I played for his Sunday team, who became a referee, and how he became a referee because he was notorious for sort of committing violent conduct behind the referee's back. I played in goal, he played in front of me, and he was the right hatchet man, and the referee's back would be turned, he'd elbow the man, the centre forward in the face, he'd go down. I've seen it, everyone's going, what's happened? And he was like a poacher turned gamekeeper. And he just said to me, why don't you take up refereeing? And I said, you absolutely no chance, I'm not becoming a referee. And I thought about it because during the cricket season I love my cricket. I played cricket as well, and I decided. I said, yeah, look, because it was an 8-week exam. I said, if I can pass the test without doing the exam, doing the course, I'll do it. And I read the laws of the game, took the exam, passed, and I never looked back.
Yeah. And how were you to referee? Did you give any problems to the officials?
Yeah, I mean, I liked. I did. Well, not really. I can say. I liked banter. I loved good banter with the referee. I had lots of good banter. I never sort of abused them or really went for them, but I liked good banter. Like when I play cricket now, that's different. I used to give the umpires a bit of abuse. Oh, especially when I thought I should have had an LBW or caught behind and never give out. I think I give more stick to the umpire than I did to a referee or an assistant referee. But I do like me banter. I did like talking to referees. And I did love referees that spoke to players as well.
And you've almost consciously then taken that style into your refereeing.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't mean to say that ex-players would become good referees. I mean, that's far from it. But for me, that it worked for me, and that's what I took. I think as well it helped me being known in the local non-league circuit, and then stepping into refereeing, local Sunday football, local Hearts County League, and I think that took me stood me in good stead for when I refereeing games, because players knew me. And they knew I was and the way I refereed games, and they liked it. I was a great believer in from my early days, always giving players a chance. Being like as Jose Mourinho described me as being a 23rd player, being a players referee, and I was. And I thought for me that was the way to go. I nearly quit a couple of times because I found it very difficult being in the dressing room on your own when I was used to having 15, 16, 17 people in the dressing room having a laugh and a joke. But when you first start out as a class 3, it was in them days. I think it's level 7 now. You're on your own. You're in the dressing room on your own, and you can hear things going on, and you just I got a little bit lonesome there. But I moved up fairly quickly, and then you had your team of 3 in with you. So
it is a team game for the officials as well. So can you not have that banter with your 2 assistant referees and the 4th official?
Yeah, you do. You do have that banter, yeah. And it is good banter. If you could have a camera in a dressing room, you'd be amazed what goes on in the dressing room. But there's no chance of that ever happening. But
because you're actually discussing the players, aren't you, and the managers and people that
yeah,
you're going to
you're discussing.
taking charge
Well,
of.
you're discussing more than that. But yeah, it's good. You have a laugh, you have a joke, and that's what it's all about. And you know, refereeing is all about confidence. It's exactly the same with players in any team sport, in any individual sport. It's all about confidence, and it's exactly the same when you referee a football match. You know, the confident you are, the better you will perform.
And do you think you are a better or became a better referee for the fact that you played? And why is it that is not a more well-trodden path, that you're one of very few, actually?
Well, yeah, I'm amazed, really. I mean, obviously, I trained with professional players for the last 12, 13 years, and they act exactly the same on the training pitch as what they do on the football pitch. So you got to have a bit of feeling with them. You know, you feel what they're going through and show them a little bit of, you're with them. You know, empathy. That's empathy for the game. But you will not get players refereeing football matches anymore. You just say to them, no, we're not doing it. No, cannot do it. I think if you look at the cricket umpires, you know, a lot of the ex-players go straight into umpiring. Now they get fast track right the way through to that level. Now I think if we had professional players coming out of the game and they go into the conference, say, you know, pass their laws of the game and come into the conference and then go from there, I think we may see one or two more doing it. But you know what it's like at the moment, you know, the FA know you've got to start right down at the bottom, and some of these guys, when they finish their careers at 35, 36, it can take so long to get up to the top. Yeah. So I do believe that there's a place in the game for these ex-professionals to start at a high level, even bring them into Conference League 2, you know. But unfortunately,
you had to do it the hard way, because you were mid-30s, weren't you, when you took up the whistle?
I was, yeah. I was actually I took it up about 28, 29.
Oh, did you?
I carried on playing. I was playing and refereeing, so I had to be very careful. I didn't get booked or cautioned or sent off, because if you were sent off, you're not only suspended from playing, you're suspended from refereeing as well.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So I had to be very careful. So I remember a cup final. I played in a Sunday morning cup final for my old team, Smith, Clyde and Beecham, and it went to penalties. And I remember, you know, saving a penalty, and I had to step up and take one, the fifth one. And I remember scoring the penalty, and going on a run, and all my colleagues jumped on top of me. And it's great when I see that, and that's what it's all about. And I did miss that.
Did you keep your shirt on, or did you rip it off?
I ripped it off because there was no cautions in them days for that, which I believe, you know, it's about entertainment, and that's one law that I would change as well. You know, it's all about entertainment.
But you were mid-30s when you actually took it up. In a full-time, not a full, because you had a job alongside it.
Yeah, I lost my job refereeing, obviously, because I couldn't get the time off to do it. So I become a self-employed taxi driver. That's when I was sort of making my way up into the Ishmael League, into the Reserve League, the combination down in South, because you always to referee afternoon games then. So
the nickname has stuck, hasn't it? Taxi.
That's my nickname. That's what all my ex-colleagues call me. Well, they used to. I don't know what they call me now, but
I've heard many a manager say taxi for Halsey.
Yes, I can mention a few as well. But yeah, you know, we all, you know, I make mistakes. It's tough. It's all about, you know, accepting you've made that error and learning from those errors, and then parking it and moving on. And the best referees do that. They make errors, they park it, and they move on.
The hardest thing must be to do that actually during a game. I mean, you come away from a game and you're depressed because you know you've made a mistake, you've got to live with it, you've got 48 hours to get over it. But when you've made an error in the 10th minute and you've got 80 to go, and you know how do you cope with that?
It's difficult, because you're right there, Alan. You know, when there's a big key match incident that comes up, and you give it, say you give a penalty or you give a red card, and for the next 5 or 10 minutes it's on your mind, because you're thinking to yourself, I hope I've got that. Especially if it's live on TV. Well, you know, because it could be a live feed going around the world, and you're asking your fourth official, you're saying, let's know, have I got that right? And sometimes it comes back saying you're absolutely spot on. Yes, there was contact, a penalty. Sometimes nothing comes back, and you're thinking, I've got this wrong. So you think about it for the next 5 minutes, and you've got to compose yourself, and you've got to block it out. It's very difficult, but after about 5 or 6 minutes, you do, and you just move on. and then you know at half time or at full time that you've made a massive error, and it does live with you for the next 48 hours. Even driving home in the car, you're thinking, oh, have I done this? Why did I do that? What could I have done? Should I have done this? Should I have done that? And you play it back through your mind time and time again, and you get home and you don't want to watch Match of the Day. If you do watch Match of the Day, you're sitting there with a glass of whiskey and a Smith and Weston at your forehead, like thinking, should I pull it? Yeah. But that's refereeing. That comes with the territory, doesn't it? Yeah. It's about being thick-skinned, mentally strong, mentally tough, and that's what it's all about, being a referee.
That's a dilemma. Is it actually better to go home and not watch Match of the Day, or is it better to get it over with and face it because people are going to tell you about it anyway?
I tended not to watch it because you know if you've made a big error, and you don't need to see it on TV, because millions will be watching you. Millions will be saying, what on earth has Halsey done there? It is difficult because you don't sleep, you don't eat for 48 hours, and then obviously you start coming around Monday and Tuesday, and you start forgetting about it and moving on, looking forward to the next weekend if you've been given a game.
Considering the mental anguish and also the physical agony, because I know that the fitness standards are stringent and painful to pass a fitness test for referees these days. Considering all of that, how can you sell it to people watching this to become a referee? How do you sell that?
But at the top, it's good money, But I mean, it's about enjoyment. If you love, people say to me, "Why did I become a referee?" I said because I wanted to put something back into the game, because I wasn't going to be a coach. I wasn't interested in doing that, or coaching non-league players. I thought this is my way of putting something back into the game, and I loved it. I love refereeing, And for me, go out and enjoy it. Go out and smile. Referee with a smile, and that diffuses a lot of situations. A bit of banter with the players, a bit of laugh and a joke with the players. They're telling you what a bad decision you made, and I'm telling them, well, that was a bad pass you made, or a bad shot. You're not having a good game yourself, and then you get that banter. Obviously, you use a little, you have that shop floor banter with them. And I used to thrive on that. I used to love it.
And I know that you've developed, probably through that approach, quite a number of friendships with those on the playing and managing side of the game, which must have been a kind of bit precarious because, you want to interact as a human being with people in the game. You don't want to give other people the wrong impression that there's any kind of favouritism. So, but you're all in the same game, so it's difficult, isn't it?
It doesn't cost you anything, right, to be polite and smile with people. Now, listen, I was on the Premier League for 15 years. You're going to make friends. You're going to make friends with kit managers. You're going to make friends with managers. You're going to make friends with players because you're seeing them all the time. Now, when I crossed that white line, I was doing a job of work, and they all knew that. The 22 players knew that, and the managers knew that. So they knew what they were going to get out of Mark Halsey when I crossed that line. Honesty, and I'd always give players a chance. They knew what they were getting from me, and that's, I think, why I've got the respect from the players out of all those years.
One of the friendships that you developed, the most high-profile one, actually, although it didn't influence in any way. I think we have to respect the integrity of referees. In your situation, Jose Mourinho became a friend. How did that get started?
Obviously, we always I always got on well with him. Refereeing Chelsea, always coming to see me, say hello. I'd say hello to him, invite me into his office. We'd have a good chat about different things and about football. And I first met Jose. I was fourth official at Porto and Marseille in the Champions League, and we just seemed to hit it off. And I remember Drogba was playing for Marseille, and I was out. He was out of his technical area, and I came out because you had to keep control of him. And I just said, "Great player, isn't he, Drogba?" He said, "Absolutely top player." And he was playing for Marseille. And then, blow me, he moved to Chelsea and he signed Drogba at the end of the season. Perhaps he took my advice. But as I say, and obviously when I contracted cancer, my wife and I both had, obviously my wife's got leukemia. Unfortunately, my wife's leukemia's come back. So we're in a bit of a precarious situation at the moment. But he was very good to me and my family. He took us to Madrid to watch Bayern Munich v Inter Milan. He invited me out to Inter, but I couldn't because I was too ill to travel. And we've remained friends, and I've texted him this morning because he was on about doing a dinner with me for give cancer the red card, and it just stemmed from there really, and as I say, a good friendship, and I wouldn't change a thing about him, because you need people like Jose Mourinho in English football.
You touch on something there. Referees, many of the more rabid supporters tend to forget sometimes they're only human beings. Yeah. And there was personal tragedy going on in your life for quite some time. And inspirationally, you not only, because I know that you feared for your life,
yeah.
let alone your career.
That's right, yeah.
You were back.
Yeah, I mean, it was amazing. I mean, that wonderful hospital at Christie was fantastic for me, saved my life. But one thing they did say was that I'd never referee again if I survived, and I thought that was a spur to spur me on to say, right, I can come back from this. But yeah, it was I was perhaps one of the lucky ones, to still be here sitting talking to you. Some are not so lucky.
And how much of a spur was? You say that, if you say to somebody you can't do that, you wanted to prove them wrong. But it was also something you loved so much. It was such an important part of your life, being a referee.
Well, it was my life, and you sit there and you think, and you say to yourself, if I don't come back, what am I going to do? I've got a mortgage to pay. I need to earn money, and so obviously when I was told I would never ever referee at the top level again, and I just thought, right, I'm going to go out there and prove Peter wrong, and like I say, hopefully be an inspiration to all those cancer sufferers that look, we can all beat this.
And how do you feel now about the tide of emotion in which you were engulfed when you returned, and the goodwill that was flowing? There was almost a feeling that you can't criticise, because I remember you saying to me, the one thing I want is people to start hammering me for mistakes. Mm-hmm. I don't want them to hold back, because there was such a warmth towards you.
There was, yeah. That was the main thing. When I was diagnosed, I refereed the Everton-Arsenal game, the opening day of the season, and I should never have done it. I wasn't well enough, and if I'd have made a mistake, I would have been hammered, and people would have said, "Oh, he shouldn't have done this because he's suffering from that." Yeah, I mean, when you're back and you make an error and you get hammered, then you're back. You're back into. So I didn't mind that, and I didn't want to be treated any differently, and I shouldn't. Rightly so, I shouldn't have been treated differently. So, I made mistakes, and quite rightly, I got pilloried for it, and I've got no qualms with that.
Okay, and as we all know, but if people don't, there's a great book out there on the market. You wrote with Ian Ridley called Added Time: The Story of Mark's Career, and also his courageous and inspirational battle against cancer. I do recommend that as a brilliant read. Mark, ever so good of you to talk to us. And
no problem, good to see you.
See you on the Ref Show very soon.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, look forward
Thanks,
to
Mark.
it. Take
Cheers.
care.